I was reading one Swebb and you were talking about growth from the standpoint of just kind of going with the normal momentum cycles that the year gives. And
Mm-hmm.
Resurrection Sunday for many churches, small or large, is a normal momentum building event in church world because a lot of people come on
Mm-hmm.
Easter, or there's
Yep.
just a lot of time that people want their kids to be in plays and Easter egg hunts. And so if many churches don't get a lot of people, they're going to get them for Easter.
Yep.
And in taking that moment to allow growth to happen, what are some things that churches, church planters maybe, or those that are just
Mm-hmm.
starting out, or even those who are thinking about church
Mm-hmm.
planting in the future, what is, maybe something that they should consider doing after Resurrection Sunday is over
Yeah.
to continue to engage people or to see growth from this
Yep.
momentum building occasion that happens throughout the year?
Yeah, that's great because I think Easter, Christmas is another one. There's two. There, to
Yeah.
me, there's
I think
four kind
Mother's
of.
Day.
Well, Mother's Day is a big day, but it's not a momentum builder. That's
Mm,
that's a misnomer because it's also 2 weeks before Memorial Day when everybody leaves
is
church and
gone.
stops doing all responsibility, including lead pastors who do their
Wow.
sabbaticals. 99% of them do them in June. There's a reason for that. But you just said, "Hey, Mother's Day is amazing. Come back." And I ain't gonna be here for the
Wow.
next 6 weeks,
That-
but you should come back. So
That's
right there,
very
we just
true.
identified. Yeah, we just identified
Yeah,
the difference between buzz and momentum. There's
for
a
sure.
difference. Baby dedications
Wow.
grow our church. No, they don't. It makes grandmother come 1 week, but they don't grow your church. That's not momentum. Some people, now we're back to
Wow.
definition. I
That's
don't have
really
time to do
good.
that on this episode, but there's an example right there. You have
Yeah.
4 natural waves of momentum every year that I would argue are irrefutable. And somebody can come at me for that if they want. You can pay for an hour and do that. But like you're gifted these waves of momentum. What are you going to do to steward them? So to your
Yeah.
point though, Easter is one of those that everyone in the world knows because everyone in the world knows when it's Easter. They don't know
Yeah.
when school starts in Memphis, but they know when Easter is across the
Very,
universe. And
very
so
true.
that doesn't mean they're going to agree with you. It doesn't mean they're coming to your church. The point is the world is already thinking in those terms. So it's kind of softened up. It's easy. People are going to feel, even out of obligation, they're going to say
Yeah.
like, well, I guess I'll go to church. It's Easter. If I want to date this girl, she told me I got to go to church on Easter. Fine. Doesn't matter. They're there.
Yeah.
Great. So I think a couple of things. It's a little funny. I think a lot of people, especially church planners, who are thirsty because they're like, I got to get paid. I got to get another staff member. So like, what do we do?
For sure.
So they do a bunch of crap on the front end to attract people to their Easter services, when in fact they were probably going to come if you would just deliver
Very
on what you
true.
said you were going to do when you started
Yeah.
the church. So remember, a lot of people don't come to your church because they know who you are, not because they don't know who you are. Usually it's the opposite. Like when you don't go
Yeah.
to a restaurant, it's probably because somebody told you, hey, don't go to that restaurant.
Exactly.
Okay. It's not
Exactly.
because you don't know about it.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
keep that in mind. Your reputation as a church, even a church that you don't think nobody knows about, no, your reputation precedes you. And so it's just good to know that. Anyway, I'm spending a lot less money, effort, and all that on the hype of come to this. It's going to be the best Easter egg hunt ever. It really? Because every other church and school and business and car wash is doing that. You know what? Just like trunk or treats, bro. They're doing, including me and my Christian family, we're like, well,
Yeah.
if churches are going to be dumb enough to just throw out free eggs and candy, I'm gonna go.
We're gonna go.
But I guess I'll go.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's why you go to VBS in the summer, because he's like, I need somebody to watch my kids for a couple of days while I'm trying to go have a date with my wife. I ain't coming to your church.
For sure.
I just need free stuff, and churches are notoriously bad about offering up shallow hype, buzz, energy sort of things on the front end without follow up on the back end. So my point is, what they can do on Easter or after Easter really is deliver on your promises.
Yeah.
If you did that, you'd be in the top 1% of churches. So when you say up front, this is the best church ever, we provide faith, hope, and love, or whatever, hope and health for your family in 2025, whatever you promise on Monday, you better deliver on that.
Yeah.
And there's a way to do that. A couple of things. Number one, you said, I'm going to call people back. You stood on stage and said, hey, welcome to your first time guest here. We'd love to connect with you. Did you connect with them? Or did your AI bot with the stupid QR code connect with them? Because if that's what it is, then you didn't connect with them.
Man.
Just like all those unread emails that you have in your phone right now that you don't read because they're bots, because they're static subscriptions that you did. You think they're reading your church email, but they're not going to read the one that comes from Apple and Tesla every day? No,
True.
They ain't doing it.
True.
So again, did you connect with them? Because you said on the stage you would. You said, this is the church where we love people. This is the church where we're like, man, you can belong before you believe.
Yeah.
Liar. You didn't connect with me. You sent me an email. You sent me a stupid email that said, hey, church fam, that kind of stuff. That's an example. Deliver on the promise of connection, for example. Another one is like, hey, we believe in excellence, man. We're all about this and that. Yeah, but your church didn't start on time. You didn't call me back. Your website's misspelled. The last Instagram post you have is from 4 days ago from a sermon clip that's irrelevant because that ain't regular human. That's a monologue from a preacher who's paid to say it. I don't have a problem with sermon clips on Instagram. The problem is that's not what I'm coming to church for. Therefore, you promised we were going to connect and I could belong before I believe. But the week after Easter, you took time off. Remember, because Sunday was so hard. So you let your whole staff off on Monday. Hey, man, a day after Easter, we just let our staff off. Really? The most important day of all year long for a church is the connection, the harvest, if you will, the proof in what you promised on Easter weekend. And that's the day you're like, I'm sorry, we worked really hard yesterday. We had to be at the office for like 7 hours. Really? Because all your volunteers, by the way, went back to work on Monday, just so we're clear. The ones that work harder than all of your paid staff, by the way. 100% of them. Every single one of them work harder than your paid staff. Come at me on that, somebody. Anyway, but you see what I'm saying? You promised after Easter. That's my whole point. You promised. Yeah. You promised all this stuff. So deliver on your promises after Easter. Sure. And that will, I promise, change the game. Now, that brings me to this point. Promise less. And
wow.
Church planner, a big church, please stop dangling drummers out of the ceiling on Saturday night Easter services, because you can't do that again next Sunday. So now you're showing up in an event that actually isn't the expression of what you do good. Every other week. It's not going to be this every other week. Mm-hmm. You're going to have Santa come swooping in on Christmas. Is he going to do that next week? No. Well, then why are you doing it this week? Because you're doing this thing that, like, come see this. This is what our church is like. It's actually not like that. It's not like that at all. All the staff that wear their Sunday best, so to speak, Easter dress, for sure, suits and ties, but the next week they're just back to t-shirts and jerseys and sweatpants and joggers. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying what you presented today isn't what you do the rest of the time. And no matter how well-intended you are, people can discern, a lot of times consciously, but all the time subconsciously. They can discern, hang on a second, this is not aligned. It's not bad. It's just not aligned with what I was sold or what I was told or what I was expecting. And I'm trying to match expectations. I'm not trying to change everybody's values in life. I'm simply trying to realign their values with what I believe are godly values that's going to improve their life. And that's not going to be dangling drummers at a Christmas or Easter summer or service or laser lights or whatever the case is. It's not 7 services. Feel free to do 2.
Yeah.
Like, full is not a problem.
Yeah.
Stop adding 7 services. That's going to make you tired for the rest of the week so you can't connect again. You see what I'm saying? All this is my rant around making promises that you're not delivering on. And if you would just call somebody back, human to human, or text them, feel free to do that without a system, not a 5-digit number, a 7 or 10-digit number, text them. Hey, what's up, Khalil? I saw that you came to our church yesterday. I'm Swebb. I'm one of the pastors here at Elevation Church, man. I just wanted to connect with you and let you know I saw you yesterday. Appreciate you coming. If I can do anything for you, obviously reach out, but I look forward to connecting with you in the future. That right there, 82% of those texts I sent right there had people coming back within 10 days or within the next 10 weeks. True story.
Man.
So, and I can track it. You know why? Because it's quantifiable. You know why? Because I can define it. Going back to that thing. So,
a full circle.
That'll beat everybody's Easter hype right there, is just delivering on your promises.